He explained that he'd been watching the whole presentation through a hidden camera I'd installed in the prototype 6 months ago. My manager Gregory's face drained of color as the CEO of our biggest client continued. Every meeting, every development session, every late night Ms. Thompson spent perfecting this system. I've seen it all. The boardroom of executives turned to stare at Gregory, then at me, and I wondered if they were ready to hear exactly how deep this deception went, and why I'd been recording everything. My name is Elena Thompson, and I'm a software engineer who just watched my boss try to steal the biggest achievement of my career in front of the entire C-suite. But what Gregory didn't know was that my $10 million automation system had a feature he'd never bothered to ask about: full surveillance capability that our client had specifically requested to monitor their facilities. And they'd been using it to monitor us. 6 months ago, I was just another developer at Nexus Technology Solutions, a mid-sized firm specializing in industrial automation. I'd been there 3 years, steadily building my reputation as someone who could solve complex problems and deliver on time. My manager, Gregory Walsh, was the golden boy, Harvard MBA, smooth talker, took credit for his team's work so naturally that most people didn't even notice. The project that changed everything started with a simple RFP from Matsuda Industries, a Japanese manufacturing giant looking to modernize their American facilities. They wanted a completely integrated automation system: robotics, AI, predictive maintenance, the works. Budget, $10 million. Timeline, 6 months. Most firms said it was impossible. I said I could do it in 5. Gregory laughed when I showed him my proposal. Elena, this is adorable, but Matsuda isn't looking for junior developer ideas. They want experience, leadership presence. Let me handle the pitch. But I've already worked out the entire architecture, which I'll present to them professionally. Don't worry, I'll make sure you get recognition for your contributions. I should have seen the red flags then. But I was 29, ambitious, and still believed that good work spoke for itself. So I let Gregory take my proposal to Matsuda, let him present my ideas in his expensive suit while I sat in the office perfecting the technical details. He won the contract, of course. My ideas, his presentation. The perfect combination, he said. Elena, you'll be lead developer on this, he announced magnanimously, as if he was doing me a favor by letting me build my own design. I'll handle all the client relations, keep them happy while you work your magic. For 5 months, I worked like a woman possessed. 18-hour days became normal. I lived on energy drinks and determination, coding an entirely new framework from scratch because the existing solutions weren't good enough for what Matsuda needed. Gregory would sweep in occasionally for progress reports, which he'd then present to Matsuda's team as his own insights. Great work on the neural network integration, he'd say, not understanding what a neural network was. Make sure you document everything for my presentation tomorrow. I documented everything, all right. But not just for his presentations. See, Matsuda's RFP had included an interesting requirement. They wanted full surveillance integration in their system, cameras and sensors that could monitor both equipment and personnel to optimize efficiency and ensure security. What Gregory never bothered to understand was that I built this capability into every component, including our development prototype. The prototype sat in our lab, innocuous-looking server racks with a few cameras for testing. Gregory thought they were only activated during specific tests. He didn't know I'd enabled them from day one, creating a complete record of who actually built this system. It wasn't meant to be a trap. Originally, I just wanted to document my process, create training videos, have a record of successful tests. But as Gregory's theft became more blatant, that footage became something else: evidence. The breaking point came a week before the final presentation. I'd just completed the last major feature, a predictive AI that could anticipate equipment failures 3 weeks in advance with 97% accuracy. It was the crown jewel of the system, the thing that would save Matsuda millions in prevented downtime. Gregory strolled into the lab at 10 p.m., finding me running final tests. Still here, Elena? Such dedication. He glanced at my screens without understanding them. Is that the prediction algorithm? Excellent. I've been explaining to Matsuda how I conceived this approach. Really revolutionary stuff. You conceived it? The words slipped out before I could stop them. His face hardened. I conceived the project, Elena. You're just implementing my vision. Don't forget who gave you this opportunity. That night, I made a decision. I compiled 6 months of footage. Every late night, every breakthrough, Every moment Gregory took credit for work he couldn't even understand. I encrypted it and built it into the system's documentation under a section labeled Development History, authorized personnel only. Mr. Yamamoto, Matsuda's CEO, had given me his direct contact early in the project, saying to reach out if I ever needed anything. I'd never used it. Gregory handled all communication. But that night, I sent a simple message. Mr. Yamamoto, when you review our final presentation, please ensure you access the complete system documentation, including the development history section. Your authorization code is your birthday. E. Thompson. The day of the final presentation arrived. The boardroom was packed, Nexus's entire C-suite, Matsuda's executive team visiting from Japan, even some board members. This wasn't just a project presentation. It was a potential game changer for both companies. Gregory was in his element, designer suit impeccable, confidence radiating as he clicked through MY slides. As I developed this system, he began, I focused on 3 core principles. I sat in the back, taking notes I didn't need, watching him present algorithms he couldn't solve if his life depended on it. The executives nodded along, impressed by his polish, his command of buzzwords, his ability to make complex systems sound simple because he didn't understand their complexity. He was halfway through explaining his predictive maintenance algorithm when Mr. Yamamoto raised his hand. Excuse me, Mr. Walsh. I have a question. His English was perfect, tinged with barely concealed amusement. You say you developed this algorithm. Can you explain why you chose a hybrid neural network over a traditional machine learning approach? Gregory's smile flickered. Well, obviously, the neural network provides superior pattern recognition. But this isn't just pattern recognition, Mr. Yamamoto interrupted. According to the documentation, it uses a novel approach combining quantum-inspired optimization with classical deep learning. Quite brilliant, really. Can you elaborate on the quantum aspects? The room fell silent. Gregory's mouth opened and closed like a fish. That is, the technical implementation details were handled by my team. By Ms. Elena Thompson, specifically? Mr. Yamamoto's eyes found me in the back of the room. Ms. Thompson, would you mind joining us at the front? My legs felt like jelly as I walked to the presentation area. Gregory's face cycled through confusion, anger, and fear. Mr. Yamamoto, our CEO, Patricia Hendricks, interjected. Is there a problem with the presentation? Oh yes, Mr. Yamamoto said pleasantly. The problem is that Mr. Walsh is presenting Ms. Thompson's work as his own. You see, the system Ms. Thompson built for us includes comprehensive surveillance capabilities. With her permission, we've been monitoring the development process. He pulled out a tablet and connected it to the presentation screen. Every component of this system has embedded cameras and logging. Ms. Thompson activated them on day 1. We have 6 months of footage showing who actually built this system. The screen filled with a time-lapse video. Me alone in the lab, night after night, building, testing, debugging. Gregory appeared occasionally, always briefly, never contributing anything but taking photos of my screens. Furthermore, Mr. Yamamoto continued, Ms. Thompson encrypted the complete development history into the system documentation. Only Matsuda authorization could access it. It includes not just video, but keystroke logs, code commits, even biometric data from the lab security system. He clicked to another screen, a graph showing hours logged in the lab. My line was a mountain range of 18-hour days. Gregory's was barely visible. According to this data, Mr. Yamamoto said conversationally, Ms. Thompson spent 2,847 hours developing this system. Mr. Walsh spent 73 hours, mostly in meetings where he presented Ms. Thompson's work without attribution. Patricia Hendricks had gone pale. Gregory, is this true? There's been a misunderstanding, Gregory stammered. Elena works for me. Her work is my work. Actually, I said, finding my voice, according to my employment contract, any system I develop remains my intellectual property until formally transferred to the company. I've never signed that transfer for this project. The room erupted. Legal was called. HR was summoned. Gregory tried to slip out, but was told to stay put by security. Mr. Yamamoto raised his hand for silence. Matsuda Industries has a proposal. We've been extremely impressed with Ms. Thompson's work. We'd like to offer her a position as Chief Technology Officer of our new American Innovation Lab, with a starting salary of $400,000 and full benefits. Additionally, he continued, looking at Patricia, we're willing to complete this contract with Nexus, but only if Ms. Thompson leads the implementation. Otherwise, we'll be forced to consider this a breach of contract, as we were promised the best team, not whatever this was. The next hour was a blur of negotiations, apologies, and Gregory being escorted from the building by security. By the end, I had a job offer from Matsuda, a promotion to senior director at Nexus with a salary match to keep me, and a personal apology from Patricia Hendricks. I should have seen this, Patricia said quietly after everyone else had left. Gregory's projects always had a star developer who mysteriously left the company afterward. I thought they were getting poached. Now I realized they were being driven out. What happens to him now? I asked. Fired, obviously. Possible criminal charges for fraud. Definitely a civil suit from the developers who left because of him. She shook her head. 10 years of this, right under my nose. In the end, I stayed with Nexus but took a consulting contract with Matsuda. The system implementation went flawlessly. Funny how smooth things go when the person who actually built it is in charge. The predictive AI has saved Matsuda $3 million in prevented downtime in just the first quarter. Gregory, last I heard, was working at his brother-in-law's car dealership. He tried to sue me for entrapment, but dropped it when my lawyer pointed out that documenting your own work isn't illegal, but claiming credit for someone else's is. The surveillance system is still running, by the way. Not to catch thieves, Nexus cleaned house after the Gregory incident. Now it's used for its intended purpose, training videos, security, and making sure everyone gets credit for their work. I keep one clip saved on my personal drive. It's from 3 a.m. on a Tuesday, showing me at my desk, surrounded by empty coffee cups and code windows, finally cracking the quantum optimization problem. In the background, barely visible, is the motivational poster Gregory hung in the lab. There is no I in team. He was right. There's no I in team. But there's definitely one in video evidence.